Hello friends, my name is Mrs. Randall and today we are going to learn all about how to handle rejection. It is very important for you to understand that in life, not everyone will like you or accept you. We all experience moments in our lives when we may feel unliked and rejected. However, understanding how to deal with these emotions can help us learn to let go of worrying about what others think of us and focus on being ourselves. Let's take a look at an example of this through the eyes of a boy named Eduardo who is dealing with rejection from his peers. It was finally the day the students in Mrs. Parrish's class at Washington Elementary were waiting on for weeks. It was the day of second grade's field trip to the state fair. Eduardo and his peers were very excited about all of the fun they were going to have. But, Eduardo's mood would soon change as Mrs. Parrish told all the students to pair up with a buddy to sit with on the bus ride there. No one wanted to sit with Eduardo, which made him very sad. Finally, they made it to the fair. Mrs. Parrish gave the students instructions, safety tips, and an itinerary of the activities and events for the day. Everyone had a peer buddy with the exception of Eduardo. Once again, he felt left out.
First of all, it couldn't be your fault. When this life of mine would fall, it will always be my call. Trying to throw this shade on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rage on me. Why they throwing shade on me, like they ashamed of me. I thought what it
The other students went to enjoy some of the festivities with the parent volunteers that came to help chaperone, while once again, Eduardo sat alone until Mrs. Parrish sat down and decided to join him.
Eduardo, what's wrong? Why didn't you join the rest of the students?
Because no one likes me. Everyone hates me.
Eduardo, that's not true. Why would you say such a terrible thing?
Because no one ever wants to play with me. They never want me around. When I try to join in with everyone, they always leave me out.
I'm so sorry you feel this way, Eduardo. I want to explain something to you that I want you to always remember. In life, you may end up in environments where people may not accept you, like you, or include you. But you shouldn't focus on who doesn't accept you. Instead, embrace the people who do accept you and welcome you into their space. Also, never feel you have to change who you are to fit in. Focus on being yourself. After all, I love you and I think you're pretty cool.
Mrs. Parrish and Eduardo were in such a deep conversation that Mrs. Parrish did not notice her neighbor Mrs. Edwards and her son Jordan walking up.
Hi Mrs. Parrish, how are you?
Mrs. Edwards, what a wonderful surprise. And, hi Jordan, how's it going?
To be honest, I'm just getting off of work so I'm exhausted, but I promised Jordan I would come and join his class today for the field trip.
Mrs. Parrish and Mrs. Edwards were talking so much that Jordan took a seat on the bench beside Eduardo.
I know you. You're in Mr. Butler's class, right? Yeah. Sure am. Hey. Where's everyone else in your class? Well, they're all off doing their own thing. I really wanted to ride the Ferris wheel, but I didn't want to ride by myself. I understand. The kids in my class left me too. That's why I wanted my mom to come today so I wouldn't be by myself. The Ferris wheel is my favorite ride at the fair. You're kidding me. It's my favorite ride too. We should go and get on it. Mom, may I go ride the Ferris wheel with Eduardo?
Sure, I don't mind, but make sure you're back here in 30 minutes because the bus will be back to pick us up. You boys be careful.
Yes ma'am.
Eduardo and Jordan had a great time riding the Ferris wheel together. After they finished riding the Ferris wheel, Eduardo and Jordan discovered they both love astronomy, so they decided to go inside the movie tent to watch a 3D movie about asteroids. The boys made it back to their meeting spot just in time. They told Mrs. Edwards and Mrs. Parrish all about their wonderful adventure and how they both love astronomy. The boys realized they have a lot in common and share many of the same interests.
Since you guys had such a great time with one another, Eduardo, if it's okay with your parents, you should come over and visit Jordan sometimes.
Yes. That will be cool. And I can show you my brand new telescope. Yes, ma'am. I would love that.
Well, Mrs. Parrish, we'd better get going so we can catch the bus in time. It was great seeing you.
Well, Eduardo, it looks like you had a great time after all. You even met a new friend. Now do you understand what I was saying to you earlier? Everyone may not accept you or welcome you into their environment, but you must not focus on that. Focus on being yourself. Embrace those who embrace you and make you feel welcomed and accept you for who you are. I guess I was right. You are a pretty cool kid after all.
Eduardo and Mrs. Parrish shared a laugh. Goodbye, friends. Today you learned all about how to handle rejection. In life, you may encounter situations in which you may not be accepted. Never change who you are to be accepted. There are people who will love and embrace you for who you are. Go where you are celebrated and celebrate those who celebrate you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please tap the like button and subscribe to my channel for more instructional videos like these, and remember to keep learning and growing.